Is the Bitcoin price potentially seeing buy pressure exhaustion right here, right now? Let's dive in and analyze. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Kirby here, your cryptocurrency expert, back with another edition of the daily live stream. What is going on, my friends? Today I'd like to discuss Bitcoin and the action we're seeing inside the chart right now. After setting a new local high around the $8,400 region, Bitcoin has seen a pullback, a new local low created, on top of an old bearish resistance ceiling, and now we're seeing the price action travel sideways. This, my friends, puts us in a very unique situation where right now we do appear to be on the brink of what could be a massive, potentially explosive move to the upside to break some of this bearish macro structure which we've been traveling in for over 6 months on end at this point in time. Or this may just be another macro resistance point here before we take a dive deep down into the crypto abyss. So as a full-time trader, I'd like to discuss with you my strategy, my game plan, and how I plan to crush this market right now in the immediate term. So without any further ado, you guys already know the deal. If you like these daily crypto videos and nightly live streams, smack that thumbs up button, click the subscribe, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Moon the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Moon them up. All right. So we'll begin with our Bitcoin technical analysis. And of course, before we begin, this is not investment advice. This is not trading advice. These are only my own opinions, ideas, and speculative hypotheses on the market. Always do your own research and your own due diligence before investing or trading, as this market is extremely high risk, and I am not your financial advisor. I will never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. That being said, let's begin right here on the 4-hour time frame. So as I was just pointing out, Bitcoin saw its first rejection right here around 8,400. Now, this is a very interesting region to get rejected at because it does essentially line up with our other points of rejection in the past since our blow off top at 14,000. And what I mean by this is that it's essentially respected this downward sloping resistance line of the bearish channel we've been in for now over half a year. Let's get this crypto. It didn't exactly touch it, but it's close enough. It's an in the area type of touch, in my opinion. Let's get this crypto. But now we have to look more beyond this, right? We have to look past this because right now the price is holding up inside of a new local, potentially bullish region. Right? And what is the reasoning behind that? Well, we did have this area here as our old bearish resistance of the equilibrium pattern, which we traded in for roughly 40 days time. After breaking through that resistance, we got our huge overshot rip to the upside all the way to 84. Then we had the carrot stick crocodile tooth retracement, but it did find that tentative support at the healthy region, right? Upon this old bearish ceiling, we now have a new potential bullish floor. So although we are right now at the area where we've seen the macro rejections occur over and over again, we do have to understand that here, in my opinion, as long as Bitcoin is still trading above this blue box, right, which is essentially anywhere really above 7,700, in my opinion, there is still a chance for the bulls to keep this momentum rolling. I'm going to dive further into this in just a moment, but there is still a chance. Although right now we are struggling here from a bullish perspective, we have not created a new higher high. And although we still are technically right now in what appears to be a potentially bullish setup, I think that there are some other factors we need to look at. So let's get into that right now. Okay. So as I just explained, the lack of a creation of a new local high is a problem here, in my opinion, because you could see here we have tested up, but we failed right at this level where Bitcoin traded sideways at the top for just a bit. We've rejected, and now this is going to put Bitcoin to the test. Who knows how many hours it will take until we get our move here. But if Bitcoin fails to create a new local high above 8,300, this, my friends, would be another confirmation of a series of lower highs, which then does potentially put Bitcoin in jeopardy, as we could be squeezing into a symmetrical triangle, which right now still is underneath this potential bearish ceiling, right? Keep that in mind. Although if we break up, we need to see a break above 8,400, and this could wind up playing out as a bull flag. But now we need further evidence, right? So if we look here in on the 4-hour time frame, something to consider here as well on the RSI, my friends, is that we did go into overbought conditions, right? We saw on that rip up, we went overbought. And throughout the recent history of Bitcoin, it's had a tendency to go from overbought to oversold almost every time that it's occurred. Of course, past performance is not indicative of future results, but we can see it's been the tendency for Bitcoin to go from overbought to oversold. It's happened so many times here, and at this point in time, at the time of recording, we have not seen a test back down into the oversold region at this point in time. In fact, we are still up rather high currently at the time of recording, around the 56. So I don't want to rule it out of the equation here yet, that it's possible that this was just leg one of the corrective phase here, right? And that this may wind up being a failed rally. I don't want to rule it out of the equation, right? If we did find this support here and now we ripped to a new higher high and we started to consolidate up above 8,500, this would look more so bullish to me, as that does look like a potential bull flag looking to play out. The fact that at the time of recording, we are still right now only testing to a lower high and now trending sideways, I need further confirmations to come in here before I can really look at this from a more bullish perspective. For now, this actually appears to be respecting the old historic bearish trend line. We are seeing that we had a correction to a healthy pullback zone, but now on the bullish test up, we failed to keep that bullish momentum rolling to a new higher high right now. It's possible that it can create a new higher high after I'm done with this analysis here. But that's a concern for me on the daily time frame as well. We can see here, my friends, look at this divergence, right? So when Bitcoin had that heinous 40% rip to the upside in one day's time, it got up to about a 66 on the RSI, right? And that price point was all the way up near 10,400, okay? Now, Bitcoin has seen this run here. We got up to about 8,400. Keep in mind, that is roughly a $2,000 difference. And if we use our price range tool, that is actually a difference of roughly about 23%, it looks like here on my chart. And we've seen a divergence here in the RSI. That is a classic bearish indicator. It took more buy pressure to get us back up to only 8,400 than it did to get to 10,400. Let's get this crypto. So right now, that's also another bearish factor looming there in the chart, in my opinion. Something else I want to look at here is the total crypto chart. This is including altcoins and Bitcoin, okay? Now, let me break this down how we're looking at this. These purple boxes that I have outlined up here, these are zones where Bitcoin formed a support and then it back tested it and proved to be resistance, okay? We've seen this happen now. Essentially, this is the third time if it holds here, right? We saw it up here. This was support. It broke, back tested, became resistance. Then support all in here, broke, back test, resistance, fail. Now support, back test, resistance. If we follow this trend, which it doesn't have to, but if it follows the same trajectory, Bitcoin would be looking for a failure here and then to drop below this old support and then do very much the same exact thing here, just like we've seen in the past, right? And then maybe we get a blue box in here, right? That's just been the pattern of what's been happening. Of course, past performance does not indicate future results, but we could see that this has been the historic tendency time and time again here, right? And if we were to do that, I mean, for me, it completely fits the narrative of what's going on here, right? We've been on a downward staircase in a bear market. I mean, a lot of people think that in the Bitcoin world and crypto that it always has to be crocodile up, crocodile down. They think that's how it has to be. But I mean, if you've been in this space for any amount of time, you know that this has been a grueling bear market, really putting people's emotions to the test here. I was just actually thinking about this the other day and how this market really changed right around here, right? Essentially right before Bitcoin went into that huge stagnation at 6,000 before capitulation. The market went from, everybody was really hopeful for Bitcoin on the space. Everybody was still all, happy-go-lucky about altcoins and things of that nature. And then all of a sudden, the emotions really took a change. And the quality of person in this space really dropped off from, happy and excited about the market to just, oh, curry you, and all the tribalism came out in these coins. And where does tribalism come from, right? Where does that come from? And by tribalism, I mean people that just love their one coin, right? And they do, like, essentially, I don't want to really pick coins, but I know the XRP community has a ton of tribalism in it. XRP, it's going to change the world. Nobody used to say that, right? When we were all the way down here with prices down here, there really wasn't much tribalism. That's what you have to understand. There really wasn't any of that, right? It was just people speculating. I'll invest in here. I'll throw some capital in that. And then they watched the coins go up. The only reason that tribalism became a thing is because people were losing money here. And then we're trying to justify to themselves and to others that their losing investment was not a bad decision, right? It's a coping mechanism. Tribalism comes from people trying to cope with their bad investment, trying to convince not only themselves, but others in the process that what they did wasn't wrong, even though they're losing money, it wasn't wrong. And that they think that this is going to be the future. The thing is, my friends, is that none of that existed back in the day. Nobody cared, right? You had some Bitcoin, maybe you had some Ethereum, maybe you had some XRP. It didn't matter. There wasn't these, the XRP army, Carbonaccio. It just didn't exist. The only reason that exists is because it's a coping mechanism for people that are sitting in extreme losses. I went on a little bit of a tangent, but that is what essentially happened in this market. And right now, I just don't see anything in terms of, that much bullishness here. Again, look, we're right at this ceiling, right? This is altcoins and Bitcoin. We're right at our potential resistance ceiling. We're also right there overbought on the RSI as well. If we look at our moving averages here on the weekly time frame, I also want to point out, my friends, that just the same as Bitcoin, the 21-week moving average has played an extreme role in this chart. And look, where all the major sell-offs have occurred, boom, right there upon the 21-week moving average. It happened 3 times right here before our ultimate capitulation. And where are we at right now, my friends? Ding, 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 chicken wings for dinner, tofu if you're vegan. We had the rejection right there before a nasty sell-off. And right now we are getting rejected. We just closed the weekly candle today, right at the 21-week moving average. For Hodler's sake, for Moonboy's sake, little James, I hope that this breaks out and closes above there for you, my friend, because if it doesn't, I see no reason, speculatively, for me, that this market couldn't have more heinous downside action to come. It just is what it is, in my opinion. Doesn't have to be correct. It's just that for me right now, I'm not seeing much bullishness here on the overall chart as well. If we go to GBTC, right, which is the Bitcoin instrument that many use to speculate in the traditional market, it's a little bit of a different chart, right? The liquidity is different, the pricing is different, but it does track the spot price of Bitcoin, right? So look at this trend line here. I mean, this is as solid as it gets here, in my opinion. We are now on touch point number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And my friends, here on the weekly, look, we just tapped the 21, right? And we also double bottomed in the honey hole of Don Carbonaccio. Everybody and their brother called me crazy when I had this outlined here, because Bitcoin was all the way up here. Oh, Kirby, you want to see Bitcoin fail? I mean, I don't know where these people get that from. Again, it's tribalism because they've been in a loss for so long that they can't even accept realities that markets pull back, right? The thing is that Bitcoin was up here. I said, listen up, little James. We might see a pullback. And if we get that pullback, I think we could come down to a consolidation right here with all of this confluence into the honey hole of Don Carbonaccio. We double bottomed in here. But my friends, we're getting rejected with a bearish wick right here, right now on the weekly time frame at the 21-week moving average, at the point here where we've seen a cluster. Look at this. Just look at this. This, my friends, is a normal area where we could expect resistance, in my opinion. Let's get this crypto. And we're getting potentially rejected there right now. And it wouldn't startle me at all to potentially see further downside action from here as well. If you hear the passion in my voice right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's because I think this little itty-bitty pump in the Bitcoin price has set people over the edge. I don't understand what's gone on here. I don't understand why this little pump, after we've dumped for so long, is like the greatest thing in the world, right? The greatest thing since sliced bread. I just don't see it. As I've pointed out for you here on the total chart, which is essentially nearly identical to Bitcoin, we've just been following the same pattern of breaking through our support, back test, resistance, fall through support, back test, fail as resistance, back test, fail as resistance. I mean, nothing has structurally changed here at all. The thing I need to see to change this would be to get above this weekly 21-week moving average and negate this pattern. Just negate it. If it negates, then maybe we do see a change in the structure. But until that happens, I'm not seeing anything structurally different here. So my outlook right now is definitely still on the bearish end of that. Moon boys, feel free to chirp at me all you want. Do whatever you want, little James, okay? I've had enough, okay? So the thing is that right now, until proven otherwise, watch out for a potential rejection here. Maybe our good old friend Bart will visit us here in this market very shortly. It's possible, in my opinion. Look for a new higher high to be created above 8,400. But if that doesn't happen, my friends, it would appear that the bearish pressure has come back in here and that the buyers have potentially been exhausted, right? Very high risk range here. I think that we are at the point where many are going to get absolutely wrecked, annihilated. They may take that trip to Wrecked City with Average Joe and James at the water cooler. It's very possible, in my opinion. And we are at the point here where there may be some heinous volatility to come back. I mean, either way, I think we are just tentatively awaiting a massive break in one direction or the other. And you guys know I will be looking to trade this potential breakout very, very aggressively to the best of my ability. So if you do want to see my trade setup ideas for this region in particular here, as I look to potentially catch this move and crush it like a 2-ton man on a tuna fish can, well, my friends, I will be posting all of my trade setup ideas exclusively for you in VIP. Today is the day. It's time to transform yourself from Average Joe into Savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. If you're not already, I will see you in VIP right now after this video. For me right now, very, very interesting time here. For me, it's a wait and watch. But like I'm saying, I'm watching the market with an eagle eye right now. This move could occur in the middle of the night. It could occur early in the morning. Either way, I'm setting up to potentially catch it to the best of my ability to tentatively crush it and get this crypto. So I will keep you updated in absolute real time to the absolute second as I post my trade setup ideas for you all in VIP. And that's really going to do it for me here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm awaiting this potential break in either direction. So I'll be posting all of my strategies and trade setup ideas for you in VIP. Let's get this crypto. Guys, if you enjoyed here today, if you could one last time, moon up the likes, moon them up, smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Satoshi needs a new pair of shoes. I will see you in VIP right now. Let's get this crypto. And until next time, my friends, the Don has spoken. Be safe, be happy, be healthy. It's your boy, Crypto Kirby. Peace and love, my friends. Curbs.